A mighty dollar is crucial for keeping America a powerful world leader. Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better navigate these turbulent times. National security experts ignore how a strong currency is critical for a country's global strength. They understandably focus on armaments, military research and development, intelligence gathering, the quality and quantity of a nation's armed forces. Today, they're grappling with the impact of AI, the extraordinary proliferation and rapid improvements of battlefield drones in the Ukraine war, and the ominous implications of space warfare for the safety of our now can't live without satellites. But a currency that is reliably stable in value and is trusted to stay that way can enable a country, if it so chooses, to exercise a seemingly outsized influence in the world economically and militarily. Strong, stable currencies are essential for economic growth. They lead to the development of domestic capital markets and financial institutions that can both fuel internal expansion and facilitate the creation of international supply chains. The trustworthy dollar was key in making the U.S. the financial center of the world. Centuries ago, the small Dutch state not only fought off their Spanish overlords, who on paper were far richer and stronger, but also, thanks to its trusted currency, became a capital powerhouse and created a globe-girdling empire. The world's first stock exchange opened in Amsterdam in 1602. When a Dutch prince, William of Orange, became King of England in 1689, his new realm was at best a middling power. But William brought with him a Dutch sense of finance, and this attitude helped lead to the creation of the Bank of England that undergirded the British pound, which would not change in value in terms of gold for well over 2 centuries. Britain developed an increasingly sophisticated financial system. Even though this smallish island was a fraction of the size of France, its capital markets enabled it to successfully finance the global contest with Paris. France's crude financial system was a severe handicap in financing those wars. Great powers don't have feeble currencies. A particularly misbegotten idea seriously hobbled France's economy in those times: the belief that economic strength came from a government micromanaging the economy and maintaining trade surpluses. The more gold and silver you could get your hands on and hoard, the more powerful you were, went their thinking. This statist approach was called mercantilism. Adam Smith's The Wealth of Nations demolished this constipated notion. Trade, internal-external, was not a zero-sum activity. Both buyer and seller gained from a transaction, he correctly pointed out. Trade enhances the creation of wealth and leads to greater and more widespread prosperity. Smith's Britain leapt ahead of France. Unfortunately, various forms of mercantilism emerged in the 20th century and in this century. One variation poisoned the 1930s, whereby a country would devalue its currency to supposedly gain a competitive advantage against its trading partners. No surprise, other nations would follow suit. The result was chaos and economic immiseration, and ultimately World War II. The U.S. triggered a global trade war and depression in 1929 and 1930 with its notorious Smoot-Hawley tariff. No surprise, other nations followed suit. The result was chaos and economic immiseration, and ultimately World War II. The U.S. triggered a global trade war and depression with its notorious Smoot-Hawley tariff in 1929 and 1930. We fell again for the illusion that cheap money could stimulate growth when President Richard Nixon began a series of dollar devaluations in 1979, ushering in a decade of virulent inflation and the belief that the U.S. was a nation in decline. Today, certain Trump administration officials are taken in by the siren call of a cheap dollar. A weak dollar begets a weak country, and there's nothing great about that. I'm Steve Forbes. Thanks for listening. Do send in your comments and suggestions. I look forward to being with you soon again.